Good afternoon, Miss Rosalie here with the afternoon message today. There were a lot of meetings this morning, so I'm just now getting the chance to record this and make sure you hear from me today. So it is Thursday, April 9th, 2020, and it is Thankful Thursday. And I do have something to share today. My grandmother yesterday turned 90. And so I wasn't able to see her because of everything that's going on, and then also just because she lives all the way up in Michigan. But I was able to call her and talk to her, and she had as good of a birthday as she could have. So I'm thankful that she's still in my life, and I'm thankful that I got to talk to her yesterday on such a big day. If you have anything to share, I would love to hear what's going on with your family, with you, what you've been up to, how you've been doing. So feel free to send that or upload it into your class dojo. The next thing I wanted to talk about was our virtue of hope. Yesterday we learned about spiritual hope and how that's different from person to person and family to family. But spiritual hope can really help lift up your spirits in hard times. And so it's an important thing to keep in mind. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how important hope is in terms of your functioning and how your brain can impact your functioning and exactly how your brain works to impact your concept of hope. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how the brain is structured so that you can understand kind of what happens scientifically when you go through things. Your brain is kind of like your hand in the sense that your wrist is your spinal cord, and then this thumb right here goes across and it's your downstairs brain, and your upstairs brain kind of folds over your downstairs brain. So let me talk to you about what those different parts of the brain do. The upstairs brain controls your complicated emotions like good decision making, self-understanding, and empathy. It can also help you learn new things when you feel a sense of hope. So your upstairs brain that folds across the downstairs brain is an important part of your problem-solving skills and how to understand yourself and understand others and also feel hopeful. The downstairs brain, this part, controls your survival instincts. In your downstairs brain, you feel very strong emotions like fear and anger. When we think about the different parts of the brain, something you might have heard of or might not have is fight or flight. Fight or flight is when your body reacts to a danger or a threat. The reaction of fight or flight is our body's way of protecting us from dangers. So it's an instinct that's in us, and it protects us when we feel a sense of danger. It can be a great tool if we know how to stay in our upstairs brain so that we can make positive decisions. Let's think about it in terms of an example. If I had the example of a lion that was about to attack a zebra, the zebra has to act quickly to fight the lion, or the zebra could possibly flee or escape by running away. But the zebra can't spend much time thinking about what to do because it has to react to survive. That's kind of what the downstairs brain tries to do. The downstairs brain has something called the amygdala, and that part is almond shaped and it's super powerful. So the amygdala can take control of the whole body if it senses something dangerous. So when you experience something that is stressful or hard, then your amygdala might take over your whole body and impact what you decide to do. So it basically goes upstairs and knocks on the upstairs brain's door and lets it know that, hey, I'm in charge, and tries to react. And that's how we choose how to fight or flight. When the amygdala and the downstairs brain take over, then the upstairs brain shuts down all the way. So if the downstairs brain decides that it's in charge, which is what we feel when we're really, really angry or very fearful, then the upstairs brain doesn't interact at all. It's shut down. So that means when you're super, super angry, frustrated, upset, or scared, it's difficult to learn anything and to retain new information because you're just doing what your body tells you to do. And so the amygdala is very powerful, and sometimes it gets in control and it's hard for us to gain back control. But in order to have hope, we have to stay in our upstairs brain rather than letting that downstairs brain take over. So instead of being stuck in our fear or our anger, it's important to be reflective and to use some strategies like taking deep breaths to calm yourself down and doing that type of stuff so that you can stay in your best functioning self. And so I want you today to think of a time when you've been super scared or angry or any other strong emotion that the downstairs brain would be. And I want you to describe what happened and how you reacted to the situation and maybe what you could have done better, or if you kept in your upstairs brain and did the right thing, explain how you did the right thing. So think about that and share it. You can share it with me or you can share it on Class Dojo, but please take the time to think about a situation that has been challenging to you and how it could have went better or how you handled it well. That's some information about how the brain works and how we can stay hopeful even in times of crisis and times of stress. The last thing I wanted to do is to just read 1 or 2 poems from Brown Girl Dreaming. So I'm going to open up my book and I'm going to read 1 or 2 poems here. We left off yesterday thinking about how Jackie was writing poetry, and she was writing about butterflies, and she determined that if you write things, they can last forever, even though a butterfly doesn't live forever. So today, I'm going to read 1 poem, and that poem is titled 6 Minutes. The sisters in the Kingdom Hall get 6 minutes to be on stage, in pairs or threes, but never alone. We have to write skits where we are visiting another sister or maybe a non-believer. Sometimes the play takes place at their pretend kitchen table, and sometimes we're in the pretend living room. But in real life, we're just in folding chairs, sitting on the Kingdom Hall stage. The first time I have to give my talks, I ask if I can write it myself without anyone helping. There are horses and cows in my story, even though the main point is supposed to be the story of the resurrection. Say, for instance, I write, we have a cow and a horse that we love. Is death the end of life for those animals? When my mother reads these lines, she shakes her head. You're getting away from the topic, she says. You have to take the animals out of it. Get right to the point. Start with people. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the fabulous, more interesting part of my story, where the horses and cows start speaking to me and to each other. How even though they are old and won't live much longer, they aren't afraid. You only have 6 minutes, my mother says, and no, you can't get up and walk across the stage to make your point. Your talk has to be given sitting down. So I start again, rewriting. Good afternoon, sister. I'm here to bring you some good news today. Did you know God's word is absolute? If we turn to John chapter 5, verses 28 and 29, promising myself there'll come a time when I can use the rest of my story and stand when I tell it and give myself and my horses and my cows a whole lot more time than 6 minutes. That's the end of the afternoon message today. I hope y'all have a great day and a great weekend and stay safe, and I miss you all. Bye.